Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today's class is on Naturalism Philosophy of Education, and before this in the previous classes we have discussed idealism and realism. Please watch the videos, and if you are new to this channel, please subscribe and also press the bell icon so that you get every videos on time. So today in this video we will learn the meaning of naturalism, the exponents, metaphysics, epistemology and axiology, fundamental principles, aims of education, curriculum, methods of teaching, role of teacher and students, discipline and school. So let's start. Naturalism as a philosophy of education was developed in the 18th century. Jean-Jacques Rousseau is considered as the father of naturalism. Rousseau in his book Emile advises to follow the nature. According to this philosophy, nature is the ultimate reality. There is nothing beyond, behind, or other than nature. This nature we call is also termed as material. So do not get confused here. Nature or material is the same thing and the ultimate reality according to this philosophy. So the watchword of naturalism is back to nature. They basically want to bring back the children to the nature from the artificial traditional school system. The main element of naturalism is nature. The naturalists do not believe in spirituality or supernaturalism. Human life is the part of the scheme of nature. Nature alone is the source of knowledge. Naturalism is against the traditional system of education. By traditional system of education, we mean the education where the teacher is the center. He comes to the class and delivers lecture, least bothering about the students' needs and interest. It is where you have to follow some prescribed syllabus and the focus is mainly on the mastery of the subjects. However, naturalists are opposed to this system. They want to provide maximum freedom to the children and believe that education should be according to the nature of the child. In naturalism, efforts are made to develop the personality of a child in order to make him a natural man. Here is a definition of naturalism given by James Ward. Naturalism is the doctrine which separates nature from God, subordinates spirit to matter, and sets up unchangeable laws as supreme. Now, let us look at the exponents of naturalism. Exponents means people who supports an idea. So these are the people who supports naturalism. Rousseau, Aristotle, Darwin, Montessori, Rabindranath Tagore, Bacon, Comte, Hobbes, Landmark, Huxley, Herbert Spencer, Bertrand Shaw, Aurobindo Ghosh, and Samuel Butler. Now let us look at the metaphysics. Metaphysics in philosophy means reality, and reality according to this philosophy is only nature or matter. It denies in the existence of anything beyond nature. It don't believe in spirituality. Natural laws are sufficient to explain reality. Next, epistemology. Epistemology means knowledge. This philosophy highlighted the value of scientific knowledge. It also laid stress on sensory training as senses are the gateway of knowledge. They believe that knowledge is gained through observation. They do not believe in intuitional knowledge. Naturalists do not have any faith in intuition, prayer, divine inspiration, and power of soul, etc. because they think that all these are illusion and just mislead the mind. To the naturalist, anything which cannot be comprehended through senses does not really exist. Unlike idealists, if you remember, who thinks that knowledge is spiritual. To naturalist, it is experimental. Next is axiology. Axiology means value, and value according to this philosophy arise from human being interaction with the environment. There is no absolute good or evil in the world. Values of the life are created by human needs. They do not believe in spiritual values, believes in the goodness of man as he is born. Now let's move on to the fundamental principles of naturalism. According to this philosophy, nature is everything. This philosophy is a monistic concept. By monistic it means single. So basically this philosophy holds a single belief that only nature is reality. Nature alone is the source of knowledge. Only material world, that is the nature, is true, and there is no spiritual world. Nature is the ultimate reality. So the child should be encouraged to learn with the nature. It gives full freedom to the child so that they can learn whatever they want. They believe in child-centered education. By child-centered education, we mean the education which is according to the needs, interests, and capabilities of the child. And in this type of education, there is no curriculum or prescribed syllabus imposed on the child. The child is free to select or develop his or her own. They encourage negative education. This is very important. You can get in objective type questions like which philosopher gave the concept of negative education? So it is Rousseau. Or which philosophy encouraged negative education? The answer is naturalism. So I'll tell you what does this negative education means. Negative education is said to be an education which is very harsh and the students are exposed to all forms of education. So this negative education basically means that we should not tell the child what to do and what not to. He should rather explore and experience by himself and learn from that experience. For example, if the child puts his hand into fire, the parents should not stop him and let him burn his hand and learn from that experience. They believe that in that way his senses will be developed, and the next time he sees fire, he will know that it is painful and he will refrain himself from touching it again. Hence, they encourage the negative education and discourages the traditional teaching, which is teacher-centered. According to this philosophy, man is the superior-most animal and is supreme creative of the nature. They believe that the present life is not an image of any other life but the real life and must be made happy and comfortable. Reality, according to naturalism, is of external nature only. All objects are born or made out by the nature and ultimately disappears in the nature. And the laws of external nature never change. Naturalism do not believe in the existence of God. God, soul, mind, heaven and hell, prayers are just illusion to this philosophy. Now let us move on to the aims of education. The aims of education according to this philosophy are to develop individuality, to develop the individual in the natural setting, to enable the child to express himself, to realize his own interests, needs, capabilities, and self-preservation, which means that education must acquaint the learner with the laws of health and enable him to earn a living. Next aim of education is to enable the students to attain present and future happiness, to enable him to adapt and adjust to the environment, autonomous development. This basically means that the aim of education is to enable the students to develop by them, make their own decisions and choices rather than being influenced by someone else. Next, to make the human machine as perfect and efficient as possible. Human machine because some naturalists consider man as machine, which is a part of the huge machine of the universe, and thus the aim of education is to make that machine perfect and efficient. Next is to equip the individual to struggle for existence and thus to ensure his survival. Now, coming to the curriculum. In this philosophy, there is no fixed curriculum. Every child is given the right to determine his own curriculum. The curriculum should be designed according to the basic instinct, aptitudes and tendencies of the children. Main subjects are games and sports, physical education and health training. The curriculum should be correlated to the life around. They emphasized on learning science, that is chemistry, zoology, physics, because the naturalists believe that it is through science the mysteries of nature are revealed. Mathematics and language are taught as much as they are helpful and necessary to understand science. History should also be included in the curriculum because it is believed that helpful experience of the past need to be transmitted to the children in order to enrich their present and give direction to the future growth. Classical music and classical painting do not interest the child and as such find no place in the curriculum of naturalism. Also, no importance is given upon religious and spiritual subjects. Now, let us move on to the methods of teaching. This philosophy emphasizes learning by doing, so rather than teacher coming and giving lectures, the children should learn themselves directly, experiencing from the environment through observation, play-away method, Dalton method. Now, this Dalton method is basically a method in which people walk at their own pace and receive individual help from the teacher only when it is necessary. Students, what they do is and are responsible for finishing the work on their syllabus or assignments. Students are also encouraged to help each other with their work. Next is Montessori method. This is a method which is basically on self-directed, hands-on learning and collaborative play. In Montessori classroom, children make creative choices in their learning, while the classroom and the highly trained teacher offer age-appropriate activities to guide the process. Next is heuristic method. In this method, the students are independent discoverer, and no help is provided by the teacher. In this method, the teacher sets a problem for the students and then stands aside while the students discover the answer by themselves. And they have negative method. Negative method, as I have already explained to you previously, is a method where the pupil is not told as to what to do or what not to do. He experiences himself and learns from that experience. Now, coming to the role of teacher. A naturalistic teacher must acquaint the children with their natural environment. They believe that nature is a supreme teacher. Teacher's presence is necessary, but his interference should be minimum. The teacher's role is to set the stage for the child and let the child learn himself. The teacher is an observer or a guide. Next, role of students. The student must learn directly from the nature through personal experience. Their role is to explore, to submit themselves to the environment, to determine his or her own role. Now let us look at the discipline. Naturalism do not believe in imposing any external discipline on the children. The only discipline is the discipline of natural consequences. Freedom is the slogan of naturalism, and there is no punishment. Now, coming to the last slide, that is school. Naturalism attaches less importance to the existence of formal school and textbooks because they believe that it hinders the natural development of the children. School should be flexible organization. Its environment should be completely free. Rousseau said that everything is good as it comes from the hands of the author of nature, but everything degenerates in the hands of man. This kind of quotation are very important. Sometimes they just pick a quotation from any philosophy and ask you to write the perspective of that philosophy in subjective form. So it is better to remember which philosopher said this or from which philosophy it is. According to this philosophy, nature is the best school and the students should themselves govern the school. So that was all on naturalism. I hope you liked the video, and if you do so, please like, subscribe and also share as much as you can to all the educational group, B.Ed students, people who are preparing for NET, MET and MA education. With this I end the video. Thank you for watching.